And welcome back to another video where I'm reviewing the Aqua Pro steamer. I've already done 2 other videos. They'll be linked down below. Remember that I am going to be an affiliate for the product, but I am by no means being paid by the company to say anything good. Whatever the McCulloch takes, I'll give it to that. Whatever the Aqua Pro steamer takes, I'll give it to that. I have no bias towards any. I'm not here to say this one's way better, so you have to buy that one. I'm not here to pick any sides. I'm just trying to give you the most information that I can to help you make a decision on, like, should I purchase that, should I purchase that, whatever the case. So I'm not here to argue. I don't care about your thoughts, don't care about my thoughts. I'm just trying to give you like whatever I see based on my experience and opinions and all that. But it's like I'm trying to be unbiased here. And check the description box down below because they're doing a giveaway of one of these steamers. So if you want to win one, and then you can also go and pre-order some of them. You can pre-order, I think, some of the units if you want. Anyways, let's get into this video. We're gonna talk about, I'm just gonna like show you a comparison between like the steam, the pressure, and then talk to you about like what are the differences between the two. I don't really go into detail of like this one is better than that one. I'm just trying to give you a side-to-side comparison of what each one has. That's the main objective. I'm not saying like this is why the Aqua Pro steamer is better or this is why the McCulloch 3685 is better. I'm just giving you what I see to you. Now, just to be fair and transparent, I haven't turned on this steamer, the McCulloch 3685, like in the last 8 months. I've owned this unit for maybe, let's say, like around a year-ish, I think. So I've owned it for like an actual use. I've had it for a year, but I haven't used it since like 8 months ago, I think. Somewhere around that. Just know that it's not like, you know, brand spanking fresh, you know, that just came out the box or anything. So as for the heat up time on the McCulloch 3685, it took at a minimum 12 minutes because I set the timer, I let it run, but around 13 minutes I was like, this is taking kind of long. So I want to say it takes around, like, on this specific unit, it's like nice weather. It's like it's not cold by any means, so like the weather is in its favor. It took around, I want to say, like 16 minutes to heat up. And I'm switching on the steamer and starting the clock. And the heat up time on that one has always been weird. Like, it heats up, I press the trigger, it depressurizes, it got some pressure up again, and then it's ready to go. And like, I've always had that. I don't know if it's an issue or that's how it is, but I've always had to do that. It heats up, I press the trigger, it loses pressure, and then it has to heat up again, and then it's ready to go. So it takes around, like, from like my experience over the last, because I've had 2 units. I've used it now for like 3-4 years in actual like practical use. Over the years of my business, and it generally takes 12 to 15 minutes. So I'm not surprised that at the 12-minute mark, it was still trying to heat up. Now go over to the Aqua Pro steamer. Again, good conditions, like good weather conditions. It's not cold. It took, I think, like 7 minutes and 45 seconds. So that is a pretty drastic difference between heat up time. I think, I haven't reviewed the footage, but I think like 7 minutes, 45 seconds, 8 minutes. For the steamer, for the Aqua Pro steamer, and the McCulloch 1385 was around like 16 minutes. And that's like kind of gauging, it's around 16 minutes. So that is a huge difference. Yes, you should still like start up the steamer and start heating it up before you need it, but 8 minutes, or let's say 8 minutes to 16 minutes, that's a difference. Now I'm just gonna spray the trigger and see the steam coming out. Now I'm pointing it towards a black mat. So on the McCulloch 1385, I'm gonna hold the trigger and you'll just see the steam and you'll see how much water is left over on the ground. I'm gonna do the same thing for the Aqua Pro steamer and see how much water is on the ground. And as you can tell by the pressure, they both look good. Although in camera, it's probably a little lying. The Aqua Pro steamer does have much better pressure than the McCulloch 1385. Like, there's no comparison. The Aqua Pro takes it on that one. But as you can see on the ground, there is more water on the McCulloch 1385 side because that's always been an issue. I've said it literally every single time I have that steamer, like in a video for like years now. It's like before you use it, you have to stick it out the vehicle, press the trigger, release that water, then bring it back, and then you can start using it because water builds up. And if you use it without pressing the trigger outside the vehicle, you will literally have a huge amount of water, not a huge amount, but you'll have a spit of water going onto whatever surface. So let's say you're trying to clean out the seams on leather seats. You press it, you're gonna shoot out water onto the leather seat. Or you're trying to clean the dashboard or center console, you'll just fill it up with water. And it happens, and it's very frustrating because like you just want to work and you're like, oh, like I forgot to do that, and now you gotta wipe it down and do the extra work, or you gotta, it is extra work and it is rather annoying. With the Aqua Pro steamer, you don't have that problem. Water still comes out, but like it is like almost nothing compared to the 1385. Like, I was trying to bring it onto the table. The hose is like all like kinked up around there. So if I was trying to pull this hose, I'm like super reluctant, or at least anticipating for the trigger to go off, right? So I'm like when I'm walking around, I'm like, oh, like hopefully it doesn't go off on me. Like even when I was like off camera, I was trying to set it up. I accidentally dropped the wand, and I was like, I tried to jump back because I didn't want the trigger to be pulled and then the steam come at me. And because the water comes out of here first before steam, I didn't want it to actually hit me. So as I dropped the wand, I just I jumped back to try to avoid any discharge from the wand. So that's already one comparison where like you have to be very careful with this wand because there is no safeguard to it. Yes, you can lock it, but you got to make sure you lock it every single time, and it's kind of annoying. So like you just got to be careful when you're moving this around. And also like it's off right now. It's still plugged in, but it is off. And like you see how that water came out and then the steam's still coming out. Again, they're this one's off, right? Yeah, this one is. Now it's off. This one is off now. And here I'm not so worried about this one because it has the safety mechanism that you have to unlock it first in order to pull the trigger. And here again, it's plugged in, but it's off. Even if you do, however means you pull the trigger, even after the safety feature, nothing comes out. So that in itself, before we even start the comparison video, like that's already a comparison right there. Alright, I'm kind of in a weird position. Alright, let's go ahead and start the review. So I'm just gonna talk as I see fit. I didn't make any notes or anything, so take it as it is. So as far as the wand size, the unit in itself obviously is much bigger. But although yes, it's bigger, doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Alright, so don't always be fooled by size matters, because like the unit itself is bigger, but the wand itself, which one is bigger? Right? So if you're looking at it like at face value of like, oh man, the McCulloch 1385 is so much bigger than this Aqua Pro steamer. But it's like, yeah, but then look at the wand, like which one is really bigger then? Which one covers more real estate? So size to size, the Aqua Pro steamer is way bigger and way sturdier than the 1385 McCulloch. Unit is bigger as far as the tank size, I guess. But the wand takes it by a long shot. There's a lot more attachments with the Aqua Pro steamer, and there's more attachment with the McCulloch, but I really don't use them. I don't even know where they are, to be honest. So I'm only gonna compare it with the triangle attachment, just because for detailers, like that's what we're mostly gonna be using. So again, you can tell the drastic difference between the two wands. Like the triangle head on the 1385 is tiny compared to the triangle head on the Aqua Pro steamer. So obviously you're gonna cover more real estate. The brushes are much better, the bristles themselves are much better on the Aqua Pro steamer versus the McCulloch 1385. And now where the where the McCulloch does take it is that it shoots it in like a triangle and like three streams of steam. So, but as you can tell, hopefully it's picking up on camera. Now, granted, these bristles are worn down a little bit because I've used it quite a bit. But regardless, like you can tell that like size-wise, as far as the wand itself and then the bristles, you know, it's a pretty big difference here. Now, looking at the hose itself, I mean, you can just tell this is a lot more flimsier. I don't know the material, I don't know the exact specs. If you're looking for a super detailed technical breakdown, I mean, this ain't it, Chief. Like, I'm not about those reviews. But just by feeling it, like, this is way more flimsy and weak, and this one is way sturdier than this one. But there's not much I can really tell. Like, they're about the same thickness, width, thickness of it. Length-wise, as you can see, length, the McCulloch 1385 does take it by like maybe 1 or 2 feet. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're actually out in the field, it does help plenty of times. Not like with this Aqua Pro steamer, with the 1385, with the VX5000, with the Pro Duo 6 that we have. I always wish, like, dang, I wish there was a bit more length. Like, I wish I didn't have to drag the steamer a little closer. I wish I didn't have to put the extension cord so I can run the steamer from, you know, farther away from the generator. So the length has always been a problem across all steamers. It's never been long enough, right? And I get it, like, you can't really make a 50-foot hose on a steamer because you're gonna lose so much pressure. Like, you know, engineering, right? Not that I know anything about that, but you know, like, all of them always come up short on length. Always, all of them always come up short on length. So yes, it does help that there's like 1 or 2 feet extra on the McCulloch 1385, but even then, like, plenty of time, it still comes up short on the, like, on me, like, how close I can get it to the vehicle before I have to, like, drag it along or move it around. So either way, you're gonna come up short on the job site, but this one does take it in terms of, you know, comparing these two in length. Now, just to reiterate, like, this whole time, I haven't used it in a while. These machines have both been off. See how that water is spitting out? If you don't lock it, you have oh look, it is locked. Like, it is fully locked, and it's still coming out. So that's no bueno. I wonder why it's doing that. Like, this is unlocked. This is locked. See, so that's just like, that's not. I mean, I guess you can lock it and then turn it down to the lowest setting, but that's just not good. Again, with this one, it's off. Nothing's coming out. Now, a big one, a huge difference is how you release the pressure. If you go back to those videos, you'll know that if I want to release the pressure because I'm out of water and I need to refill it to continue to work, I would pull this trigger, put it on max setting, pull the trigger, lock it, and let it run, and then I would come here, slowly, you get the point. I would slowly loosen this cap off so I can have steam or the pressure releasing from both the valve and the wand itself, so I can release all the pressure, fill it back up, wait another like 10-12 minutes, and then go at it again. Super sus, like super shady to do this. Like, you can easily get burned, the water spits out at you, like the cap can go flying. When you're in a rush, like this takes a while. If you're just trying to do it like this, it's gonna take a while for the pressure to go down. So a lot of times you'll just resort to like just trying to take off the cap as quick as you can, and like it's just not safe. But that's the only way to go about it with this one. With this one now, it is super simple because all you do is switch up this little cap here, you press this button right here, and the pressure releases from the bottom. The pressure releasing from the bottom. I always use my foot to press down on it. But yeah, like this one, the pressure releases from the bottom. So that makes it way more convenient with the Aqua Pro steamer than the McCulloch 1385. That is like a world's difference in releasing the pressure to then fill it up. Now these both have, you know, settings in terms of max to minimum. I have never in my life like taken it off like 95%, right? I'm always like at 195, 90-ish. Same thing with this one. Now, I would say when you go to the lower settings here, I mean, it's pretty darn weak. Like it's not like it doesn't really do anything here. With this, I would say there's more power at the minimum, at the lower levels than this one, as you can see by the videos. But 99% of the time, both units, any of the units that I have, I'm always running them at full blast, like at maximum pressure. Now, again, with the wand, you can remove it. You just unclip it right there, pull it out. That's what she said, and you can now store that separately. With this one, you always have to wrap it around the unit or do something to store it. So, as far as storage and portability, this one does take it because you can now separate both of them and store them however you need to store them in your van or in your, wherever. And this one, you're forced to always keep everything contained. Now, I would say on the cord part though, this one has little wraparound things that you can, that you can wrap it around the back. I'm not gonna do that because you can obviously tell what I'm talking about. But you can wrap it around right here, which makes the cord storage super easy. Here on this one, you don't have that, so now you gotta mess around with that one. So again, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just trying to give you the facts. Now, I don't know off the top of my head how much water this holds, but the Aqua Pro steamer holds 0.4 gallons. I don't know how much here, but you can easily Google that yourself. I'm not. And the next thing is yes, this unit is bigger. Like, there's a handle, there's like this that probably has no type of practicality other than it might look cool. But other than that, I don't think there's much, yes, it's bigger, but, oh, that scared me. Yes, it's bigger, but there's not really any actual practicality of why it is bigger over this one. And the advantage that it gives you, that it makes storage a little harder. I never have ever used this I've never used that before. I grabbed this just to move it around. The wheels, I'm not gonna comment too much on the wheels because what are they called? Because I don't move it around like that. I'll pick it up entirely and put it to where I need to put it and then get to work. So both of these, yes, they're there. They roll, but I'm not rolling it around the stem. I'm not pulling it from the wand. I'm picking it up, moving it, placing it down, and then grabbing the wand and working like that. So no comment on those. They're sturdy, I guess. I don't really use them, so I'm not gonna put much emphasis on those. And as I covered in the last video, is that this one does have a gauge. I forget where it said I haven't used it in a while, so I forgot what point it has to be where you can start using it. This one doesn't have a gauge. Does it matter? No, because all that matters is can you use it or not. So this one just gives you the green light indicator of hey, it's ready to go. That's all you need to know. Has it passed the threshold that you can start using it. This one, it's cool to have a gauge, but if it hasn't passed the threshold to where you can use it, what does it matter for having the gauge? So this one, no biggie to me, whether it has a gauge or not, it doesn't matter. Even on the VX5000, the Pro Duo 6, it has a gauge. Does it help to some degree? Maybe to see if you're having problems with it, and you see it's still I hear the pressure. So maybe if you're having problems with it and you're yeah, it's staying between 4 and 5 psi, and then whatever, sure, maybe it'll help you diagnose it to some degree. But as far as just knowing hey, is it on or is it off? Is it on? Is it ready to go? You don't really need the gauge. You just need to know, is it on? So I would give that one to the steamer here. Or not really, this one, it's kind of yes, whether it does or doesn't have it, not a big deal to me. Now keep in mind, okay, make this super clear in your head. Whichever one you purchase, it's going to work. Okay, because even with the McCulloch 1385, I went through hundreds of interiors. Great results. Customers loved it. I was charging money. So either one you go with, it's going to work. Okay? Whichever one you choose, it's going to work. So don't think you have to feel forced, oh my god, Oscar says this one is better than that one, so whatever. No. You can make it work with whichever unit. Now, to give you just a black and white, which one do I recommend? The McCulloch 1385 is $200, at least when I bought it locally. The Aqua Pro steamer is $349. Yes, the McCulloch is cheaper, but you get more bang for your buck. With the Aqua Pro steamer. You get a lot more out of it in terms of features and the quality and the performance with the Aqua Pro steamer versus the McCulloch 1385. I'm not saying go buy that one. I'm not saying that's the best one. I'm just giving you my personal opinion and experience on these two. Take that as you will. I'm not saying you gotta buy either of them. You can go get whatever you want. I just want to be clear. I'm just saying, bang for buck, the Aqua Pro steamer does beat the McCulloch 1385, and I've used that McCulloch 1385 for years and done hundreds of vehicles, and I'm giving it to the Aqua Pro steamer. But purchase whatever you want. I don't care. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right here. Hopefully, I did a decent job giving you a comparison because I'm the only one putting out the information. So hopefully I'm doing my best to help you make a informative decision on whether or not you want to invest in the Aqua Pro steamer. Again, check the description box down below for the other two videos I've done on the steamer. You can check out the link to enter the giveaway. They're giving one away, so you know, give your chances at that. And if you want, you can also pre-order the steamer. I think it's launching, I have no idea, just check all the details down below. If you want to know anything else about the steamer, like, please let me know. I will make another video on it. I am the, you know, the bridge to the information of the steamer. So whatever you want, like, let me know and I'll try to come up with another video. I need to make another one in like actual practical use on an interior, but you know, we haven't had a vehicle to really do that. So I'll try to get one out. I will, because I want you guys to actually see it in action. But again, yeah, let me know any comments down below, like what you want to see, and I'll try to get that for you. I will see you guys on the next one.